Hello, this is Udo Dirkschneider, the singer of Udo and Dirkschneider.
And this is Sven Dirkschneider, and you are listening to We Go to 11.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
All right, so we get a twofer this go round. We get Udo himself and son Sven. So this is going to be good because we're talking 40th anniversary of Balls to the Wall, and you guys have done something a little bit interesting here to commemorate the 40th anniversary. So talk a little bit about the album. Now that's coming out, I believe, February 28th. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yes, 28th of February, right.
Got it. So Udo, what inspired this? Because again, when musicians, go out and re-record some of the classics, sometimes it's frowned upon by the fans. So this is kind of a risk that you guys are taking, but you've done something a little bit different where you incorporated some special guests.
Yeah, but definitely it will be a risk if you do just re-recording, But I think together with this guest singers, I think that's in a way a different thing, It made it more interesting and give the whole thing a new direction, something new, like
Right.
more interesting for the people. Without the guest singers, definitely I don't want to touch, never ever did this album.
Right. How did you guys come about drafting this list? Because it's like a who's who of heavy metal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, when we start thinking about this, we were making up a list, but we had a lot of people in mind already, and in the end, we knew already which song will be perfect for the singer. For example, like Biff for Saxon, definitely for London Leatherballs, Dee Snider for Losers and Winners, Doro for Winter Dreams, Miller of Creator, definitely for Friday Bake. And and Sabaton, the singer of Sabaton, Joachim, definitely for Balls. So, and Michael Kiske, definitely was the right singer for Losing More You Ever Had,
Right.
So, then it works in the end out very well. And I'm happy that, and I'm glad that the people said, yeah, we really want to do this now. It was not like that the guest singer said, yeah, okay, come on, I do it. And then no, they was really into that, And also, we didn't say, okay, you have to sing this line, this line, this line, and this line. The whole thing was like, for us, or important was that they sing the whole song, So then in the end, for us, it was much easier to see which part fits best with my vocals, So,
Sure.
what can I say? In the end, I'm really happy with the whole result, and so here we go.
Well, let's kick it back to your son. What's your take on this, Sven, as far as the re-recording of this, being a part of a classic album that your dad was a part of way back when, and now you get to recreate it?
Yeah, first of all, I'm very honored and proud that I had the chance to perform as a drummer on this album and put my little touches on each song, which obviously were and got approved by the original drummer, Stefan Kaufmann, because he's the guy who is recording my drums since a couple of years already.
Right.
So that was kind of a very unique setup. I was super nervous, even though I played most of the songs. I don't know how many times, but I'm in the band since 10 years, so I played them here and there. Let's put it this way. But being in the studio and then trying to create a take where Stefan was also satisfied was a goal for me. And of course, you want to have it approved by the original, which was great work. It was a lot of fun, and he let me do my stuff, wherever I wanted to, and where I thought, okay, this might be cool. This is what I play live usually. it sticks to the original, but it might vary a little bit, but not too much that it would be bad for the song. And then, I mean, additionally, I was taking care about all the communication with the guest singers and coordination about when someone is going into the studio and what do we need from them and what recording preferences and all that kind of stuff. So there was a huge challenge to get it all done in time, because obviously people have schedules, they go on tour, they do promo stuff, they have to go to a video shoot, whatnot, and they have a private life. So we were really, really happy, and it's much appreciated that everyone who is on this album really had the will to do it and was up for it 100%. Little example, Dee Snider, for example, he was in the middle of the movement. You know, he was moving into a new house in a completely different area. So he called me up and he said, "I would love to do it, man, but I don't have a studio here right now. I don't know where to go. I don't know anyone." And we chatted back and forth a little bit, and then he came up with a solution and found a studio and went in there and hit the fucking thing in 2 hours. I mean, we got the files back and we were blown away by his vocal performance. Really strong on this one. And with other people, it was more easygoing. Mille from Creator, for example, they're writing a new album right now anyway, so he was in the studio doing demos, so that was pretty easygoing. Biff, he said yes right away. He wanted to do it, and then I didn't hear back from him for a couple of months because he was busy. So I was sitting there nervous, like, when does he say yes now finally, and when do we get the files? But we got it done, and everything was a little bit last minute, and it was a great challenge, and I'm really happy that we accomplished it.
Right. And I have to point out, I mean, some of the songs you guys have mentioned are some of my personal favorites as far as this re-recording. You know, London Leather Boys with Biff. I like Turn Me On with Danko Jones, which is a little bit of an outside of the box pick there. And then Losers and Winners, which is the Dee Snider track. I mean, all good stuff on there. Was there a special moment that stands out in the re-recording of this album for you, either of you two guys?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, Biff, for example, what I said before, you know, they were singing the whole song. And if you listen to the whole song, what they did, I mean, for example, London Leather Boys can be also a Saxon song, you know?
Right.
Or Dee Snider can be a Losers and Winners song and all that stuff, you know? That's very interesting. Yeah. And also, like, the song I like very much, it's like Losers and Winners, no, not Losers and Winners, Losing More You Ever Had, what like the Pisket did. It can be also a Halloween song, you know? Everybody was putting their own character on the songs. Sure. And that's, I mean, that's amazing what they did, you know? I'm really happy. And so I think so far, the interviews, what we did, and we got a lot of people now, they will listen to the stuff, they say, wow, this is a great thing, you know? So, looked like we did something right.
Yeah. And the one thing, you have Peter back back as a collaborator and bandmate with you. Yes. So for you, how important is it to have him back in the band? And also for Sven, you know, new rhythm section mate there. So what's that? So for me, I don't know who wants to. Let's go with Udo. You go first.
Yeah. For me, definitely. I mean, I'm happy that Peter is back. You know. It was not really planned that he joined in as a member now of UDO or Dirkschneider. I mean, he was helping us out 2 years ago on a tour. So when our bass player was ill, but then after a while he came up with an email and said, "I don't want to be a member of the band," blah blah blah. So we was in South America on tour, and then I said, in the evening we was in a restaurant having dinner. Then I said, boy, shit, we have to look for a new bass player, you know, blah. And then Peter came up and said, I would like to be a member of this band, you know. So I was in a way a little bit surprised, but now, I mean, after two years working with him in a band together again, I mean, it's like we never split up, you know. And it's really good. I mean, he's one of the best players for me. He's the bass players in heavy metal, And yeah, he's also a legend in a way on the bass, And so yeah, and I mean, also he did a great job also on the Ball to the Wall Reloaded album now. So he was also nervous. I was also nervous, Can I get the notes again and not so on and on? Okay, but it works. No problems at all. And also, like Peter, he said, what I'm doing, I play with the bass, what I did 40 years ago. Or, I mean, he said, I played all these songs, also for a long, long time. So maybe I put some live stuff in there, but it's not completely changed, but he put some more little life details in that. So, I mean, give also the whole thing freshness, could say freshness. And I mean, Sven, I think he is also happy now to play with Peter.
Yeah, I mean, the chemistry was there from day one. I mean, we called him on a Sunday night when we were out doing the Touchdown tour, and then he flew in on Wednesday, I believe. So he learned the whole UDO set in 3 days, and we played the first show in Berlin on a Thursday. And it was so much fun. First of all, seeing Udo and Peter reunited on stage together. They had so much fun, and I think it was also quite emotional for both of them. So there was a super cool situation and a very, very remarkable evening. And then the chemistry personally plus playing together was there from the first day, and we developed a very strong rhythm section within a couple of days, basically, and took it even further now with playing together for 2 years. And it's all these little details that we now do without even looking at each other, and sometimes he turns around when I do something new or different, and he looks at me and he smiles, and then he does the same. So I'm very happy that he joined us in 2022 and then decided to become a permanent member as well. And I don't need to say that he's one of the best in the business. I mean, he's a fantastic musician, also really, really fantastic singer. So now because I mean, Dee and Andre, they also do sing on stage, and they do it very well. But Peter takes the backing vocals now to a different level as well. So now we have that trio, I would say, with Udo, Peter, and myself, which is very helpful on songs like Losing More Than You've Ever Had, or a Guardian of the Night, which is good to perform. And that's what Udo and Peter told me they were not able to do back in the day because they were only singing with 2 people. So this is very, very cool, and I think the people enjoy it a lot. I mean, we played it live already a couple of times, South America, and now we were on the 70,000 Tons of Metal, and we performed the show, and people loved it.
Yeah. One of the things, as a fan, obviously, if you keep up on what's happening with Udo, Dirkschneider, I guess that's 2 bands, right? I mean, and I think that, and then there's Accept, which is the other faction, of the lineage. One of the things that as a fan to me is interesting is that I think the other party is going to do something similar to this. So how much of this was also influenced by getting a jump on this? Because I think there's some celebratory type stuff happening on the other end. Or did that not really play a factor in this whole thing where you guys we got to do this, we got to get out and do this Reloaded album?
Not at all, because we had the plan and we started working on it already when they didn't even announce their celebration of the 50 years of Fix. So we didn't even know. So we were just doing our thing. And then they suddenly came up with this, that they want to do a celebration of 50 years of Accept, which basically is one guy celebrating himself. Right. But anyway, so we were there before and announced already that we wanted to do this album. So I mean, it is like it is, right? Like you have Accept, you have the original voice touring as Dirkschneider, and Peter is back now. So I think we don't need to hide behind curtains,
right. No, I get it.
And therefore it's totally legit that
sure.
Both bands, I mean, they can do whatever they want. It doesn't really touch us. I mean, we just do our thing and try to fulfill our plans that we have.
Right. Which I think, I mean, Udo, you've been doing that all along. I mean, I think once you departed, you just kind of been doing your thing for all these years.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I do this now for over 50 years, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah, so so Accept starts together with Michael Wagner. I think he's also well known, you know. We
Right.
started making music together, and also we were creating Accept, you know, in 68, I think. Yeah, but that long time ago. And but then Michael said, well, he became a famous producer, and I keep going on, you know, find the right musicians for Exact.
Right.
And and I found, I think, the right lineup. That was in 76. That was the right lineup. And so, and then the rest is history. I mean, what can I say? I mean, that long enough in this business, and a lot of things are up and downs, you know, bad things, good things. And still the business is a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Still after all these years. But, you know, after 50 years, I'm still there. And so we are, what can I say? I mean, I really still having fun to do this, you know. So, I hope we can do it for another 10 years. I don't know.
Well, there you go. You know, one of the things that you mentioned, Michael Wagner, I mean, the guy's retired now and you're still at it.
Yeah, just yesterday I was talking to Michael, and he said, "Oh, I'm so happy that you're still doing music and go on tour. You are a really legend, you know." I said, "Michael, yeah, come on, but are you also a legend as a producer?" But he gave up and retiring. He's doing nothing. He sold the whole studio and enjoy life.
Right. No, that's good. Hey, one of the things that in looking at the who's who list of performers on this album, how tight were you tight with Lemmy there, Udo?
Oh, Lemmy, yeah. That would be great to have him on the album, or like also Dio, you know.
Yeah. So now that you brought up Dio, I mean, what do you think would be a good tune for Accept Balls to the Wall song for Lemmy, and what would be a good Dio tune you think that he could have tackled?
Dio, I think it will be the good song. Maybe Guardian of the Night. That can be a song for Ronnie, and for Lemmy. Hard to say. Maybe Not Balls. No, I don't think that will be the right song for Lemmy. Maybe also like London Leather Boys, which is
right.
Crispy Waltz, you know, like London Leather Boys. Maybe something like that. You know?
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, can you imagine it's like Biff, you, and Lemmy on a tune?
Oh, that would be fantastic. But both of them now rest in peace. And great singers, great musicians. And I was really good friend with Lemmy and also with Ronnie, you know. I mean, so what can you say?
But you did manage to get Doro, which is a good guest vocal on that.
Yeah, definitely. Doro was from the beginning on plan for Winter Dreams, you know, and she told me also, "Oh, this is the song I love most on the Balls album," and I think she did a great job. And also we did a video for Winter Dreams, you know, together. Right. And Doro and I, we know each other since, I don't know, 80, 81, something like that, you know. Long time ago. Yeah, I think Doro at the Metal Queen in Germany, you know, and I think Doro and me, we are, I think, the metal singers in Germany. I mean, the real metal singers, you know. That's what all to the people said, you know. So, I'm happy that she joined the whole thing, and I think she did a great job.
Right. And what's the plan? I know before you hopped on here, Udo, your son was chatting about rehearsals, and you guys were going to hit the road for I think a couple months, was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to take that, Sven, and give us a little bit of an update on that, and whether you guys plan on bringing this to the United States at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, as I said before, we will go into the rehearsal place. I think in 2 days. Yeah, we're gonna
Yes,
be on
2 days.
Wednesday, and we're gonna get the production together and meet up with the crew, and everything is in the great preparations right now, and everyone has to pack his suitcase. I was just packing before we did this interview. Trying to get all my shit together, and then we head out for a 2-month European tour, going all over Europe, and it looks fantastic. The response is great. We already sold out a lot of places, and tickets are still moving very, very fast. And yeah, we can't wait to do that. And then afterwards, when we come back in April, I think it's 32 shows in total, and then we come back in April, and then we take a little break until June, and then in between we will start working on the new UDO record already.
Oh wow!
And then we're gonna start summer festivals in June, and then
Sure.
do some shows over June, July, August, September. And then we go on tour with Saxon in the UK and Ireland in November, and they are celebrating 40 years of Wheels of Steel, and we celebrate 40 years of Balls to the Wall. So I think that will be one of the strongest tours in heavy metal history, I'd say.
Yeah.
So fun.
And yeah, we already have plans for 2026, and we already talk about going back to the States. I mean, we've been there with UDO in, what was it, September, October last year?
November.
Was it? No, it was September, October. Yeah.
Was it September, October? Okay, I forgot already.
So,
Okay.
I mean, we definitely want to come back and present this tour to you guys. I mean, we've been there with Dirkschneider in 17 and 18. 2 years in a row, and the response was fantastic. So we definitely are talking already about coming back and bring this project over.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, and this is probably going to be traumatic for Udo and probably you too, Sven, as far as if you recall, you guys got stuck in an ice and snowstorm on the West Coast. And in fact, you know, you guys were dropping video clips on, I forget whether it was your Facebook page. It might have been Facebook page.
Maybe,
Yeah. And it was Udo walking alongside I-84. I'm like, man, that looks familiar. And then he panned out and showed some of the scenery. I'm like, that's not too far from where I live. And you guys were literally stuck on I-84, I think on the way to Seattle, right? I thought you had to scrap Seattle.
Yeah. So hopefully it will not happen again.
Yeah, no kidding.
So please. That was a nightmare, you know.
And you know, I was gonna close with you guys are familiar with Spinal Tap, right?
Yeah, of course.
What's a good Spinal Tap story, or is that it? I mean, that was pretty Spinal Tap-ish. Do you have a Spinal Tap story?
That was totally Spinal Tap for sure. That was ridiculous. I mean, we were stuck there for 2 or 3 days. I think we were running out of fuel. I mean, it was scary at the same time because you really didn't know what to do when gas runs out and we couldn't put up the heating. But luckily, we were very close to a highway exit, so we. I think that takes it even more to the Spinal Tap level. We were working as penguins, like in a chain to the next Walmart to get some supplies.
Oh yeah,
and that was pretty funny in effect. But I mean, we got through, and it all worked out. But you have to have a good team on the tour bus to survive this kind of accident, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
That's the Spinal Tap story. So here we go. So in closing, you know, albums coming out February 28th. There's going to be a European tour extensive, some festival dates, pairing up with Saxon at the tail end of the year, probably 26 before you guys make it to the North America again.
I think that will be then 26, yeah.
Yeah.